Bacon's the best. Even the frying of bacon sounds like applause. It's like, ah! Yay, bacon! You want to know how good bacon is? To improve other food, they wrap it in bacon. If it weren't for bacon, we wouldn't even know what a water chestnut is. Thank you, bacon. Sincerely, Water Chestnut III. And those bits of bacon are like the fairy dust of the food community. You don't want this baked potato? Bring! Now it's your favorite part of the meal.
And the comedy stylings of Jim Gaffigan professing his love for pork. Well, according to a story in the Washington Post, the FBI, or the Federal Bureau of Prisons, has decided to stop serving pork products because inmates no longer desire the other white meat. The National Pork Producers Council was skeptical of the decision, while Ibrahim Hopper, he's a spokesman at the Council of American Islamic Relations, said, and we quote, "In general, we welcome the change because it's facilitating the accommodation of Muslim inmates." So the question is, was this move made to accommodate Muslims or just a lack of demand? Joining us now is Steve Malzberg. He is, of course, the host of the Steve Malzberg Show, which airs following the Daily Wrap. Okay, so the story comes out today, and it's on Newsmax. It's in a lot of places. And what you hear from conservatives, and particularly those in conservative media, said that this is just another move by the Obama administration to acquiesce to the whims of the Muslim community and even those of the prisoner variety.
Well, Ibrahim Hooper ain't no conservative, and when the head of CARE, the head of or spokesperson for the unindicted co-conspirators in the Holy Land Foundation trial, comes out and applauds it as a move to accommodate Muslims, I'll take him at his word. We have a president who, I'll believe he's a devout Christian because he says so. But everything he has done at home and abroad is Muslim-centric, and which are bashing the Crusades at a prayer breakfast or right on down the line. I'll take Ibrahim Hooper at his word that this was done to facilitate Muslims.
Rick, do we go too far to be nice? If you look at Gitmo, for instance, they have soccer fields down there, and every prison cell there's an arrow pointing to Mecca, and they get 4 scheduled medical visits per month, and so on and so on. In other words, if Americans were being held over in prisons in the Middle East, I doubt they would have the same accommodations. So with the food, it's just, again, I agree with Steve
I'm not really interested.
Do we go too far?
No, I'm not interested in nice or not nice. I am very interested in facts, a couple important facts. By removing pork from the federal prisons, you did absolutely nothing that impacts on Muslims. For one thing, Jews and Muslims in prisons for years and years and years have been given special meals when what's been made available that day violates their dietary laws. So nothing there. Maybe more importantly, I actually spent a good hour and a half researching standardized federal prison menus, because the argument the pork board is making, you know, because what we all read today was, well, we're not going to serve pork anymore because they don't want it. Guess what? And then they come out and they say, who doesn't want bacon? Well, they're right, I think. Everybody does want bacon. There's one problem. The federal prison system hasn't served bacon for years. I went back as far as 2005, well before Obama, and they weren't serving bacon. I was able to find, I brought in 2012 with me, one day a month where they did have sausage for breakfast. However, it doesn't say it was pork sausage, and as I was researching prisons, most of them are serving bologna sausage.
But here's the deal. First of all, I don't concede that, because you have prison spokesman, the Federal Bureau of Prison spokesman Edmund Ross, telling the Washington Post that over the years pork has become more expensive, that over the years it's become less popular. So obviously they're serving pork, whether it's pork loins.
I didn't say they weren't. I said bacon.
I don't care what it is.
Well,
I mean, bacon, pork.
If you're the
Muslims don't eat any of it. And by the way,
if you're the pork board and you're going to make that argument that they want bacon, it helps to know the fact that they haven't had bacon for years.
Pork. He banned pork products, not just bacon.
Okay, now let me tell you this.
No, let me finish.
Well,
you said Jewish prisoners. Muslim prisoners outnumber Jewish prisoners, according to the. You brought it up. According to the
I simply said dietary laws for Jews.
Well, you brought it. Let me finish.
I brought it up. No, I brought it up by saying that Jews and Muslims have special menus.
I'm going to tell you how many Jews
there are compared to
Muslims. Muslims outnumber Jews in federal prison, according to the Pew Research from 2013, by 9 to 1, almost 10% to 1%.
Tell us that. That's relevant how?
It's relevant because Muslims will not eat bacon. Some Jews kosher Jews. I'm a Jew. I'm not kosher. I don't like bacon, but I'm not kosher.
And how is
but
that
it's
relevant?
all practicing Muslims will not eat bacon, no pork products. Some Jews won't. This was done by a president and an administration, because the buck stops with him, that has accommodated Muslims. CARE is praising it. Look what Joe said happens in Gitmo. Look around the world. Look how he trashes Christianity.
In the meantime, you haven't given me one thing except to tell me that some Jews eat bacon, some don't, which couldn't be less relevant. You know what I can tell you?
Tell me Muslims don't.
Excuse me. I can tell you one thing. I can tell you that the feds have been laying off pork. They were down to 2 items in the past 3 years for a very simple reason. The meat producers, they give a substantial discount in when they sell bulk meat to the prison system, to the federal prison system. The pork producers weren't doing it, and that's why you haven't been seeing pork on the menu.
So the government that spends $50,000 per toilet is worried that the pork producers aren't giving them a discount on meat.
It's not the government. 100 federal prisons. It's the whoever's running the food program at the Federal Bureau of Prisons who has to respond.
That is the government.
And, excuse me, he has to be accountable for his budget. So yeah, even the government that spends $25,000 on a toilet, you have somebody here who has to worry about that. Well, this is trumped up. There's many things we're all agreeing
on. Donald Trump has nothing to do with it.
Excuse me. I did send a note to CARE and told them they're stupid, that they only made it worse. That's exactly what I said.
Did they respond?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Did you use the word stupid?
And by the way, yes, I did. And I'll tell you the phrase.
Get a pig outside your door.
I'll tell you the phrase that a very good Republican friend of mine said when I sent him a note. He said, you know, this organization has a history of biting into the apple. A lot of times it has worms. This is one of those
I don't know what that
times.
has to do with pork, but you can get a tapeworm from uncooked pork.
Okay. Either way, I love bits of bacon. That is true. So, what do you think about this pork ban? Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Let us know. Coming up next, we have the latest on imprisoned Washington Post reporter Jason Razan. Stay tuned.